Most of you have probably heard about the disappearance of Lyric and Elizabeth, the two Evansdale girls. If you didn't know, they went missing July 13th, and their bikes were found near a small lake in Evansdale without them. But where are they? After extensive search, nothing came up. On December 5th, there were two hunters walking through a wooded area and found them. But what happened to them in those 145 days that they went missing? The possibility of them being trafficked is very high, with the numbers you saw before. Think, that's pretty much in our backyards, and you're thinking about something that most people say only happens in other countries. Human trafficking needs to be stopped, so people can feel safe letting their children out to play in their own backyards and riding bikes.
I'm Caleb Townsend.
And I'm Trey Bronner. We have done extensive research on the problems of human trafficking. We have found articles from USA Today and Detroit Free Press. We have also interviewed a human trafficking expert on the problems of human trafficking.
Human trafficking is the reason for people to abduct children.
Nearly 8,000 children younger than 18 are missing each year. That, on average, is 2,185 children per day. This increases the chances of children being abused, neglected, and trafficked throughout the world. The United States government estimates that 5 to 12 million children are forced to work with no pay, little sleep, and working in inhumane conditions.
Well, last summer I got to go visit Cambodia, and we were near the Thailand border. I actually got to see and work with a couple different organizations. Saw some young boys and girls with another organization that I saw in Cambodia, and they worked with an organization called Freedom Stones. The Freedom Stones, actually, their symbol is this. It's supposed to represent a broken link in a chain. They're trying to break that chain that has, kept them in that kind of lifestyle. And so that's just kind of their signature jewelry that they, a lot of their kids are making. So that was one of the skills that they've taught them. I also heard lots of stories about people caught and put into forced labor, nasty labor for, 18 hours a day, hardly any rest, any food, terrible living conditions. I think animals live better than they did. So luckily I was working with organizations that were doing something about it, and even part of the government organization that was in this town of Poipet, Cambodia. They were really working to help prevent that too, which is good because the government there has typically kind of turned their back on it and just not paid any attention to the problem.
Human trafficking has become the third biggest and second fastest growing criminal industry behind drug trafficking. It is the same exact crime as other major crimes in the U.S.
Main gangs that have a real presence, like say in Los Angeles, they've gone away from dealing drugs to actually human trafficking, and they're making so much more money, and it's stuff like that that you start to hear that is just frightening.
It doesn't just happen in the U.S. Just like this 26-year-old housekeeper from Detroit.
She was poor and desperate for work, so she applied through an agency for a job in the Middle East. The agency promised her $150 a month, which is around 50 cents an hour, which is $6.75 less than what we would earn here in an hour. When she got there to start working, she slept in a bathroom for months and was never allowed to leave her home. She told the U.S. Today her life consisted of cleaning walls, carpet, cooking, washing dishes, and caring for children. She was only allowed to talk to her family once a month. And all this happened because she was told about a job and took it not knowing any more than what type of job and what she would do. There are thousands of untold stories like this, and there are thousands of these stories becoming real life for people all over the world. And that number will keep growing if we don't do anything about it. Or like the hundreds of girls who are being forced by their parents to perform sex acts on live camera for income. This is happening as we talk, and nothing's being done.
The rate of human trafficking is growing at a rapid rate worldwide.
Human trafficking has become the second largest industrialized crime in the world.
So why is human trafficking such a big deal?
It promotes gender and child abuse.
Lastly, it promotes crime, being the second largest industrialized crime in the entire world.
How can we take action against this crime?
Get educated, know your facts, do your research, and know the warning signs of when this crime is happening.
Also support organizations that are trying to stop human trafficking, including the Polaris Project and Samaritan's Purse.
You can donate to these organizations to help stop this crime.
Millions of children worldwide are being abused and neglected every second of every day because of human trafficking.
We need to stop this horrible crime.